Let me make sure it's live. Close. It says, Coach, you're now on. Klesh.
Right.
Klesh.
Coach Chris.
Coach Chris. We're going to call you Chris Klesh.
Well, it's easy to say. I'm known as Coach Chris. It's easy to remember.
We'll say your full name. Just for the record, it's Coach Klesh. Coach Chris Klesh. Chris Klesh for the record. And we're actually live here. I just want to show you real fast. This is what that looks like. We're live. We're live to the world, and they'll see this. And I could trim it a little bit later, but it's broadcasting live right now, which is that new technology we talked about that's moving so fast. So depending on how big your network is or what you're tied into, my network is about 2,000 people. So 2,000 people around the world can get a little ping that I'm live right now, which is quite a few, but they're everywhere. Sure. I've got people in the Middle East, India, everywhere, and they'll pop and watch. They'll watch later, but they can watch it live now. So our sound is looking really good, and I'm getting better at this. My early ones were not too pretty. So I'm playing with this still. This is really important. Give a quick sound test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me go a little more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more test, please, Chris.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 test.
Oh, good, Chris. You're perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We look good. So I'm going to put on the actual recording here. We're being recorded too on Google Plus. Our sound looks good there, so we're ready to go. Well, Chris, let me bring up my questions. So, in fact, if anybody wants to, I'm going to go and put on the chat, if somebody wants to chat, which I usually don't do, but I need to bring up my questions because I did not download them. There we go. Okay. So, take a drink of water. A couple administrative things, Chris, before we get going. Disclosure and release. Both parties may use this interview in part or full for commercial, educational, and promotional purposes. It may be produced, distributed, and used in future speeches, books, media by both parties or their assigned. This is required that I say this. Both parties agree to hold harmless each other from any claim, damage, or liability. Now, what that allows us to do is, if iHeart or anybody picks up these communications, they can put them on FM or late night. It can go anywhere. So I sign my rights over for free to iHeart and just about the world, so they can use it as long as they don't use it in a negative way. So you agree with?
Sure.
So we're all good to go. So everyone
we're good to go.
Picks it up. Next, we'll get ready the evolution, and another thing too is we're really focusing at making a podcast. If you want to redo a question, all you have to do is just pause. So I see a pause instead. I used to clap hands, pause, and then say I'd just like to restate that question, and I can, and it's good for me too. And you'll find me doing the same thing. So I will pause and say I want to say that again because sometimes I don't speak clearly. I have good days and bad days, depending on how much sleep I have. So, Chris, I'm going to get ready here. So, Chris, welcome to Timelines of Success.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Bill.
I guess I should say Coach Chris, right?
Right. I'm known as Coach Chris.
So, Coach Chris Klesh.
Right.
Well, how'd you get that name?
Basically, I've had an athletic background. I've always enjoyed sports, played them all from football, basketball, baseball, golf, tennis, and obviously, when I started this business, Lifetime Leisures, I had a PR firm, and they said branding's a key, and they said with that background, let's make it easy on people. Klesh is a difficult name to pronounce. You're known as Coach Chris. We're going to brand you because what do? You coach the deals. That's your background as an athlete.
Well, I think you should be selling real estate for us with that name. Around Tahoe, too. It's a good area.
It is. It's a beautiful area. I spent half the year here. I started about 10 years ago, coming up for a week or two, and then it transitioned into a month, 2 months, and now I spend 6 months based out of Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe. The summers and the winters. I love the winters because I'm an avid skier.
Now, Coach Chris, we can't get you in trouble with tax issues because you live in 2 states which are tax-free.
Right.
Interesting. So your lifestyle, a little bit about your background. I'm going to just talk briefly. You are the perfect person I want to have on this show. You've transitioned. You've worked 30 years in the corporate...
31 years in corporate
side.
America.
Tell us a little bit about your corporate background.
Yeah, I started out at a college, even though I have a degree in music and radio and TV or show business. I was a conductor, and my goal was to be a TV director of musical shows. but I had a background of selling because I put myself through college selling encyclopedias. So out of college, obviously I needed a job, and my first job was a sales job with New York Telephone back in 1969, and then whoever knew that it would turn into a 31-year career in marketing with the Bell system. As you know, the AT&T broke up, New York Telephone, and then I transferred down to Florida because I loved the warmer climates, golf, the ocean. Southern Bell became Bell South, and they gave me a retirement package at age 52 after 31 years. Sign here. Well, here's a year's pay. Here's your benefits, your 401k. Goodbye, see ya. And obviously I took it. So I had a career basically in marketing. I was a marketing executive. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of presentations, a lot of speaking, and I think it was a very good, healthy career.
Now you've had a very good transition too, when I see, and sort of a nice lifestyle and career that you've created. And of that lifestyle, I would say your marketing has really helped out. So you could explain that transition and how you chose to do what you do today, and explain a little bit more of what you do.
Yeah, I think the transition was basically easy. I'm still a young person at age 52, but obviously you develop your interests. I love to travel. I love the theater. I used to see 20 Broadway shows a year. I still see 20 Broadway shows. I'm into scuba diving. I play golf. I play tennis. I had a desire to go on African safaris. But the problem was, with a lot of people with a bucket list, how do you afford to do it? That's the key. The best things in life aren't things. What are they? They're your health, your family, your friends, and those memories and experiences. But the problem is, hey, how do we afford these things? And so what became a hobby turned into a passion, and now a business. So I started researching on the internet, interviewing people at all my travels, how to do everything I could at the lowest possible price and still live this luxury lifestyle at a basically fraction of a price.
So you're going to tell us more how you do that. But, here's what I like about what you've done towards business. Another way you can help the timeliners, the people listening to the show. You've done a really good transition into this business. Now, it's evolved, too, but you're using technology well. You have got a very good web page. You've got online presence with YouTube and video. Tell us a little bit more about how you managed to set all that up and get it so well organized.
Well, I'm not a high-tech person, but educated in MBA, and I go to a lot of executive seminars, entrepreneur seminars, and they all stress how important social media is, a video presence, a web presence, search engine optimization, basically network. It's not about networking, it's about networking. So obviously I don't have those skill sets myself, so obviously I put a team together. I had people that, after interviewing people that I felt were the best at doing video. Again, I'm always looking for a deal at the lowest possible price, but with quality. Same thing when it comes to web design, my videos, my speakers one sheet. It's not done by myself, and so I think everybody, entrepreneur, needs to, if they don't have those hands-on skills themselves, really take the time through networking, people you feel comfortable with, and develop that team in all aspects of your business. Because if you don't have a web video presence today, you're not in business.
True, and especially with what you do. Now go more detail of what you do, your business, and how you can help people.
Yeah, basically what I help people is I just share with them. I empower them to transition their life, because the life isn't, here's a good quote, it's not the years in your life that matter, it's the life in those years. And we all, as we retire or we get a little older, we have extended families, we have a bucket list, things we want to accomplish, we have our hobbies, friends, family, places we want to go to discover, whether it's Broadway or, like myself, we struggle to find out really what are the best deals. So what I do is basically filter through all this mess, all these blogs, all these advertisements, and I have come up with a strategy that works for myself, my audiences, and my clients, how to go about achieving their bucket list of travel and leisure, whether it's flying. I fly for free, for example. I don't pay to fly. Whether it's playing golf, I show people how to fly for free, getting the top Broadway tickets, the top Las Vegas tickets, renting a car, dining out. There's ways to do it, so you're paying less than 50% for every meal. So I put it together in a package, and I did it basically for myself, and now I formed the business through my speaking endeavors to share it with my audience. And then I take on individual clients and customize it for their families or their friends.
We call it monetization. It sounds like there's different ways of monetizing, and it sounds you do it a lot of different ways. First of all, you don't spend a lot of money because you save the money. But is speaking your number one way of monetizing?
Yeah, I think I would definitely say, people ask me, how do I learn more about you? I would say invite me to speak to your association, your group. I call it a lifestyle seminar. I don't sell anything. I just give the top, what I call maybe top 10 tips, websites, resources. I open people's minds that they really can live this. It's not impossible to live a lifestyle of luxury for as little as 10 cents on the dollar. You know, you don't have to be rich to live rich.
So give us a couple of number one tips of how we would save money or travel.
Yeah, well, basically, let's start with flying. I fly all over the world, all over the country. I have a son that's a senior in Auburn. And one of the top tips I tell people that I utilize is that every airline is associated with a bank which is associated with a credit card company. You take Southwest Airlines, you get their Southwest Airlines Visa, I think, which is associated with Chase Bank. You put one in your name, maybe one in your spouse's name. I put one in my corporate name, and just for a sign-up bonus, just for being approved for the credit card, you wind up with enough airline miles, or in Southwest case, points, to take 2 or 3 flights. In addition to that, let's use American Express. They're associated with Delta. You sign up for an American Express Gold card. It comes with 35,000 miles. You put in one in your name, one in your business name, one in your spouse's name. That's 100,000 miles. In addition to those miles that basically boil down to 2 or 3 domestic trips, maybe 1 or 2 international trips, you don't pay for baggage check-in, and you get priority boarding in addition. The only thing that's required is usually with these credit card sign-ups, there's a minimum spend of $1,000 or $2,000 over a 3-month period. And once you meet that requirement, then the miles are transferred into your account. You could do it with United Airlines, Southwest. I've done it with Delta, all of them, Aloha Airlines. British Airways had a great promotion with Chase a while back. And just for getting approved for their credit card, you got 50,000 miles. Again, I put one credit card in my name, one in my business name, and that was 100,000 British Airways miles. Now, I didn't use it to go to Europe, but they were honored by Americans. So it's the same thing. They transitioned into American Airlines miles. So if you use the miles correctly and the credit cards correctly with these sign-up bonuses, anybody could go on the website and Google credit card mileage sign-ups, and they're all over the internet. Every airline has one, and just take advantage of that, but maximize that. Put one in your name, one in your spouse's name, one in your business name, and before you know it, you're flying for free the way I do.
I've done that a little bit. We've had the American Express card in our family business for 20 plus years, and it does add up pretty fast. Even when we're not spending a lot of money, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's some credit cards now. I also carry a Barclay Visa account, and instead of miles, they give you points. Just getting approved for the card, it's 400 points, which is $400 on any flight. So all you have to do, again, spend $1,000 minimum in 2 months, which to me is restaurants and gas money. Your money you'd spend anyhow, or paying a utility bill, and you wind up flying for free. And if you leverage this across all the airlines, because each airline's associated with a bank, associated with a credit card, it's one way to fly for free. So let's start there.
So any entrepreneur, when you set up your business, you got to set up your checking account and your credit card account. Make sure that they've got a points or some kind of reward system hooked in, and they'll build fast.
It certainly does, and they all have different sign-up points at different times of the years. Let's get back to Delta. I fly a lot on Delta. Delta has like 4 American Express cards. If you get the Delta Platinum Sky Miles card, besides the initial bonus of 30 or 35,000 miles, you don't pay anything for the first year. Then the second year, I think they charge $100, but you get a companion certificate. So let's say you're going Reno to New York, which is normally let's say in the area of $500. Your companion flies free. So if you know basically how to leverage these type of There's websites devoted to this. There's blogs and websites how to maximize the mileage. All you have to do in my seminars, I bring them up on the screen, people write them down, and it's just a resource. What I do is empower people by showing them the resources.
I belong to a group, a nonprofit group. I help them out quite a bit, and they're about, I would say, average 55, 16 older, and up to around here up to whatever 80 something, maybe 90. About 67 people. We meet once a month for lunch, and if they were as connected as you are, they could do so much more, because I know I help them out with finance and the website, and most of them pay cash. We offer a credit card, and I prefer a credit card. It's much easier for me, but most of them still pay cash. Why is that? What can I do to encourage them to do what you just said?
Well, I think a lot of people, seniors, are worried. We've all been instructed about credit card balance and interest rates, but there's nothing wrong with a credit card if you pay it off on time.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 23 credit cards, and I don't carry a balance on any of them. I just use them for different resources. Again, we're talking about hotels now.
I was going to ask you, do you ever close these out once you open them up?
Yeah, well, I'm not a credit. I keep them open. It depends, or some of them I close them out if I don't use it. Marriott has a deal now with Marriott Rewards Visa account. If you sign up now, get approved for their credit card, they give you 70,000 Marriott reward points. That's 7 nights at a Courtyard Inn just for being approved for the card. And again, I think there's, all the minimum spends are in that area of 1,000 to 2,000 over 3 months, which are easily met. And right there, just for Marriott stays, 70,000 points for just getting their credit card.
As a reservist, I went back on active duty, but they put me on TDY for a year. And the military used to not allow us to get the points, but they changed the rules where we can keep the points now. I stayed in a Marriott, and I could have even stayed longer, for over 6 months, on and off when I traveled. Tremendous number of points.
Yeah.
I used the heck out of those. I had a family vacation back in Kansas City, of all places. Brought my family back, mostly to get my family back to see
me.
Right.
Each hotel chain has different loyalty programs. Depending on how much you travel, where you travel to. It's good to, like for instance, I'm an executive traveler at the highest standard of Marriott's, and I always get upgraded to a concierge suite where there's free breakfast and everything else. So what I try to do is, with my individual clients, is depending on their travel needs, customize it. Other people, where you mentioned hotels, are better off just going on Priceline or Hotwire. Probably heard of those two sites. They're bidding sites where you don't know which hotel you're staying in. You're just going to bid on a 3 or 4 star hotel, and usually you pay, you know what the going rate is for a 3 or 4 star hotel, and you bid 50%, and your deal goes through, and they tell you you're either in a Marriott or Hilton or a Westin, etc.
And they're all nice.
They're all nice. Yeah. So it depends on the application. Some people like just to stay in their regular hotels. Other people use the Hotwire, the Priceline scenario, and stay in hotels. Judd and I, my friend here, we were driving to Vail last year, and again, hotels.com. I just pulled up a website, called an 800 number. We were just getting too tired to drive. Boom, 50% off. I said, hey, where's the nearest town? I think we were in Colorado Springs or something. Called an 800 number and checked into a hotel 10 miles away, 50% off. It's just being aware of these things. You have to be aware. You have to have the knowledge and resources.
So, Coach Chris, on your bucket list, what are the top things that are left on your bucket list?
Well, I've pretty much achieved everything I want to do. It's funny, as I get older, I'm doing less traveling. I'm a skier. I've skied all over Europe, men's downhill runs. Skiing's still my passion. I'm a diver, scuba diver. I've been diving in the Blue Hole in Belize. I guess what's still left on my bucket list, I'm a golfer. Someday I'd like to go over to Scotland and play some of the courses in a rotation in the British Open that I haven't played in Scotland, Ireland, those type of things.
Well, I've got one on you. I did that.
Yeah, well,
but I paid for it through the Army. I was on the Army, and I took a 2 weeks worth of leave, and I actually had someone who was in country take me to this place.
But what I want to really share with the audience, I'm just a middle class guy. I go, I'm trailer trash. But if you know how to do it, you really can upgrade your lifestyle, because, hey, I think everybody should have this bucket list, do what they want. For me, I love Broadway. I love Las Vegas. So I make sure I see 20 Broadway shows a year. I see New York first class. I'm going there in 2 weeks. I'll be seeing 20 shows. I'm staying in a $1,000 suite for about $150. Again, little tips. I'm going to be on a champagne yacht around the Statue of Liberty drinking champagne. I'm going to pay $10. Everybody on the yacht's going to pay $100. I just know what websites where the deals are. I'm going to go to comedy clubs for free. It's just a question of knowing the resources to where to go. Again, another tip. I speak to people going to New York. I say, you want to save money for guides? $20, $25. Buy a for $30. You could buy a one-week Metro card, unlimited bus fares, unlimited
really
subway
cheap.
rides.
That's cheap.
Dining. Let's talk about dining. It's another tip. A lot of people know, obviously, I'm sure your listeners, about Groupon, Living Social. They have different deals there, your area code. But if you're vacationing with your family, buy the entertainment book for that resort area, whether it be Orlando, New York, Las Vegas. Again, 2-for-1 dining. An even better tip now is I tell my clients, my audiences, go to restaurant.com. Website doesn't charge anything. Put in your zip code, especially the popular area. I'm talking about New York, Vegas, vacation areas, Hawaii, Washington, D.C., wherever you go, in Boston. And they send you little coupons where you're going to pay $4 for a $25 dining certificate. And they'll give you little restaurants. Translation, you're going to dine for less than 50% off at some gourmet places. I use that tip myself when my son was in spring break in Las Vegas last year. We went to a gourmet restaurant at the Stratosphere that revolves around and gives you a view of Las Vegas. We paid 30% of what the bill was just using the coupons from restaurant.com.
Yeah, Las Vegas, even Reno here, has some pretty good values if you look. So tell me, you brought up another question. Where's your favorite place to eat in Tahoe? Since you're from Tahoe, know the areas.
Well, you want to know my favorite place to eat is on my deck in my house. I'm very privileged. I have a grill out there. I'm not a fancy chef, but I have one of these billion-dollar, I call it heavenly views. We've heard of Heavenly Ski Resort. I sit there and I look at the lake. I look at the
state line.
I look at the casinos lit up at night.
We call it state line.
That's my favorite place to dine. I'm not a fancy diner, but I'd prefer to dine at home, just cooking whatever it is, a steak, cameras on the grill, and just sit there and take in the view. It's a spiritual experience for me from my deck right there in the South Lake Tahoe area on the Nevada side.
That's a good answer. I can relate to that because you do travel a lot. You see you see everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Did you ever go to some of these restaurants which you see on TV from the Food Channel, things of that nature?
No, I'm not. That's not one of on my bucket list. I'm not really consider myself a gourmet diner. I try, again, health is number one. As I tell people, we start to say I don't eat junk food. I stay healthy, exercise 5-6 days a week, ski 40 days a year, still play tennis. But I don't consider myself a gourmet diner. Like when I'm in New York, I'd rather skip the dinner and have that third row seat on a top Broadway show. To me, that's my priority. For other people, it's different. I'm not putting them down. Their priority is to dine at the fine restaurants. So that's what's unique about travel and leisure. Everybody has their priority, but where I fit in is I show them how to do it at the lowest possible price, and literally unbelievable price. We're talking 90% off.
That's good. That's good. Very good. So I do have the last question. We wrap up this first part. Is we're talking earlier about timeshares, and everyone knows about timeshares. Now, how many timeshares do you have?
Right now, I probably own about 25 of them. At one time, I owned about 45. Do
you make any money off of those?
Oh yeah, I've made money off of them. I used to have a thriving rental business, a major source of income. 6 figures plus just renting them. The key to timeshares. Again, timeshares are so much better than hotels. Every major hotel chain is, as we discussed earlier, is involved in a timeshare. You have Marriott, you have Hilton, you have Hyatt, you got Westin, you got Disney, you have Starwood, you got Wyndham. They all have a timeshare product. Number one rule, never, ever buy from the developer. You could go on the tour and hear their spiels. In fact, that's an easy way to travel. A lot of these timeshare companies give you a 3-day, 2 nights, go on our sales tour. But when you buy resale, you buy on 10 cents on a dollar. To give you some examples, I bought into a private club. It's like timeshare currency. Was the equivalent of about 150,000. I wound up paying less than 20,000. Again, 10 cents on a dollar. Marriott does the same thing. Timeshares they were selling for $40,000, you can now buy on the resale market if you have the contacts that I do for $3,000 that they were selling for $40,000. And it's then once you have the timeshare, you have to know how to use it. You know how to lock it off. If it's a lock-off unit, get 2 weeks for your one maintenance fee, trade it. And that's what I did. What I did was buy low-price timeshare units, quality units from Marriott, knew the system, how the exchange system worked, how to get Hawaii, New Year's Eve, Christmas week, the desirable places in Maui, Ko Olina, New York, etc., and then rent them out. So what I was doing is renting them out at less than 50% of what Marriott was charging, and I was still making 100% on return on my investment.
That's amazing. And I can tell you, if you do take advantage of those free trips or getting Disney tickets, whatever it might be, get ready for a hard sell.
Yeah, well, it is. I tell people,
here's
here's just a little quick story. Again, getting back to my ski prowess, I go to Vail a lot, and I use this as an example in some of my seminars. When you go to Vail, a Marriott hotel, let's use Marriott. The hotel room in February, March is $630 a night, okay? And then you got to pay for parking. That's another $25. It's a nice Marriott, 300 square feet, comfortable room. That's the price, and they're filled out. Why not go on the internet? You don't have to own a timeshare. Just go on the internet and rent from an owner the Marriott timeshare. It's a half mile, 3/4 of a mile away. Instead of getting that one room, you're going to get 2 full bedrooms, sleeps 8, a fireplace, a full kitchen, a jacuzzi tub, underground parking, a clubhouse. So instead of paying $630 a night, you're going to rent it for $300 a night for usually a weekly total of about $2,000, and you pay no sales tax on that. And then again, it sleeps 8, the same quality bed, same bed that you'd sleep on at the hotel, you're sleeping on in the Marriott timeshare, and you don't have to own it. A lot of people don't realize this is one of my biggest tips. When you're going on vacation with your family, forget the word hotel. You want to research the available timeshares, and I say deal with the quality, deal with the 4-star timeshares, deal with the Marriotts, the Hiltons, the Westons. They're all involved in it, and the Hyatts, and you're going to get quality, triple the space, triple the amenities for 1/3 the price of a hotel room, and you don't have to own anything.
Well, Coach Chris, a couple of things. A little administrative note. I'll probably cut this off the podcast, or I might leave it on. If you heard a change, we're doing this face-to-face, which I love to do. But if you heard a change, I forgot to turn this fan off because people had this before me. So that means I have to do a little bit of editing. I have to pull some frequency out, which changes the sound and tone. So from here on out, your sound will probably be a little bit more crisp. I won't have to pull it out, but we'll see. I might balance it. We'll see how well I've learned my mastery. And by the way, Coach Chris comes from the music industry, studying it, learning it. I mean, what a fabulous background you've had. And actually was in the military during the Vietnam War, directing a band.
Yeah, I came with an undergraduate degree in music from Indiana University, conducting, and I started out during the Vietnam War, and they had the draft numbers, obviously. I enlisted, and I spent the first year or two in an armory unit. I did my basic training in Fort Dix. Then through my music contacts, I had a band on the side saying they needed a conductor for the governor's band for the state of New York, which is assigned to the New York National Guard. So I was able to transfer my talents over to there, and I finished out my military service, my reserve service, as the conductor of the New York State Governor's Band.
Oh, what a way to do it. And you learn so much from the music and the sound.
Yeah, I love music. I go to all the concerts, anything from a symphony orchestra to Elton John. I go as many concerts as I can, but my first love is still the Broadway musical theater. And I since the age of 14, I've been going to shows every year, and the last 5 years, I probably averaged 20, 25 Broadway shows a year. But again, I do it at half price. There's websites that you can get tickets in advance without waiting on a line at 50% off or less.
Very good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transition into my bottom line upfront questions. And these are quick questions. So do you use a Mac or PC?
PC.
PC. Why do you use a PC?
I don't know, because it was cheaper. I gave my son, I had a budget. I said my son gets the Mac. He's a senior, at Auburn. He gets the Mac. I get the Lenovo PC.
Now you use your PC for communicating online?
Yeah, I use it for online research, websites, lengthy emails. I do a lot of research, obviously, and I get so many of these newsletters and travel. That's why I keep up on it. I get probably 50 or 100 a day travel-related emails that I sort out to know where the deals are to share with my audiences and clients.
Well, here's one little tip. As you evolve in your journey, a MacBook Air for traveling, you can't beat it. 10 to 12 hours of battery life, very portable, very small, very durable too, and solid state now. So no moving parts, and it'll last. Just a little tip from me, but the PC is still really good in your house. You get a lot done, very cost effective.
Yeah, but I do have an iPhone 5, so I use that. Wireless router. It works. So I check my email usually from my iPhone because it's quicker.
So even more so, now we connect that iPhone in with the Air, and then all starts talking back and forth. And you go back. Anyway, that's a little commercial for Apple. So what is your favorite technology?
Again, I'm very happy because I'm not a high-tech. I'm 66 years old. I used to make the joke, Touchstone is high-tech to me. You get to be my age, but I'm in love with my iPhone. I know Samsung, my friend here, has a Galaxy, but taking pictures and being able to look at emails and forwarding in a quick way and doing research and I'm not a high-tech person, so realizing that, I just happen to be in love with just my simple iPhone 5, just using the basic things, the apps. I could tell you right now, pulling up an app, what Broadway tickets are half price at the ticket center. So I have learned how to use apps. I've learned how to take pictures, forward them, and obviously a speedy way to go through. I got 4 or 5 email accounts.
And you got podcasts. You're going to listen to podcasts.
That's right.
You're going to listen to this show, and 2 days from now, you'll listen to it on your iPhone.
I look forward to it.
And you'll subscribe. We'll look at that afterward. So what is your favorite quote? You gave us one quote.
Well, I think dream. I have several quotes. They say, I believe people should dream for a moment, but remember for a lifetime. Again, the best things in life aren't things, but they're your health. Health is number one. Then it's maybe your faith, your family, your friends, but it's those memories and experiences, whether they're with your children, places you've been to, just those experiences that are so valuable you can't put a price tag on it. And again, it all relates to, it's not the years in your life, it's the life in those years. So let's stay healthy.
Those are a myriad of very good quotes you can just all put together and package them up. So favorite books?
Well, I'm a disciple of Steve Siebold. He's a professional speaker, got me involved in the speaking industry. He's written How Do Millionaires Think, different speaking books. I've read all of Steve Siebold's books. And again, if you're healthy, I think his latest book out is called The Fat Loser. It's not a diet book, it's a psychological book. I think anybody that struggles with weight, something I don't do, but a lot of my friends do, it's the best book ever. It's called The Fat Loser by Steven Siebold. He's a thought leader. He's also a mental toughness coach, and he's inspired me. He got me into the speaking business.
You say you don't struggle with weight, but just looking at your lifestyle, how you eat, it's your lifestyle.
Sure.
It's just you've set a lifestyle. You've evolved to this lifestyle. Have you been in this condition most of your life?
Yeah, I've been an athlete my whole life, and I believe, and it's really you have to have discipline, and you feel so much better. I know I feel so much better when I'm healthy, when I know I can ski. I could still play singles and tennis at my age, 66. I could still ski the bumps and the black diamonds, double black diamonds, and be able to do that. I think I can't emphasize how important I think health is. If I had one thing, people should obviously get their checkups, go to their doctors, their tests, eat right. I'm talking about mental and physical health.
Correct.
Look what happened to Robin Williams. We got to unfortunately think about our friends that are struggling through depression. Mental and physical health is paramount. And again, it's not the years in your life, but the quality of life in those years. So we all owe it to ourselves to do what's in our best interest, see our doctors, get our checkups, do a regular regime. Obviously, don't overindulge in any alcohol, drugs, and try to get the exercise that every doctor recommends.
And you definitely eat right, I can tell.
I'm not perfect, but I try to.
So what's your staple?
I don't know. What I try to do is portion control. I think is important. I'm not a fancy eater. Fruits and vegetables. In Florida, I eat a lot of fish because I love the fish. It's fresh fish in Florida. I split my time. Again, I said I was in Florida. Usually I base myself out of Florida spring and fall, And then I love the summers, and obviously the winters I'm up here for the ski season in Lake Tahoe, and then I travel to Vail, Park City, and just ski to where the snow is. I follow the snow, the best ski resorts, because that's my dream. I'm living my dream because I love to ski and I want to ski the best resorts.
Well,
But the key, I do it again at 10 cents on the dollar.
we do live in a very good ski area.
We do.
Often I put an advertisement in for Reno because Reno is like one of your best values going. People don't realize it, but even for a family, I live between here and the state line, and Reno is a great place to live.
Sure.
It's
the
really
cost of living's
family.
here. There's so many activities to do. The weather, we have 16 ski resorts around the lake, a lot of activities. In fact, I'm having lunch towards the end of the month with the senior VP of convention sales for the Reno Convention Visitors Bureau. And we're going to discuss that area. That's one of the things, how to get more people here to Reno and realize, because I could live anywhere. I've been around the world, and what a valuable area the Reno Tahoe area is for, again, activity-wise, beauty-wise, cost of living-wise, value-wise. It's the place to be.
The activities, the art town, the balloons, the races.
Yeah, there's so many activities.
Hot August night.
Shakespeare, and then you get down to the South Shore. You got the concerts going on every weekend, whether it's Lady Gaga, the Eagles, and there's so many things to do here, and it's not expensive like California. The only thing you don't have here is an ocean, but you do have a beautiful lake.
We're on Startup Row, and if you look just over here, we're only like 100 yards away from the Truckee River, which is a gorgeous river when they let the water flow, which we need more water for the fish.
Yeah.
I think I'm becoming an environmentalist when it comes to protecting the fish. It's funny, the older you get, that's one of my passions is just protecting fish and fishing. You need both if you love to fish and climbing the mountains. And do you hike?
No, I don't do too much hiking now. I'm a tennis player, golfer. Like I said, in the summer, I've had this eye injury. Just been through an eye surgery. Unfortunately, just luck of the draw, I had a detached retina. So
I can't tell.
Yeah, and now I've scratched my cornea, put in eye drops. I have to have a cataract surgery to get the eyesight back in my left eye. That's sort of unhinged me for the summer. But usually I kayak out on the lake, and I do a little mountain biking, a little golfing, a little tennis. That's summer activities. And then scuba diving in the winter. When I get back to Florida, I'm an avid scuba diver and golfer, and then come back here and ski.
Okay, Coach, this is a tough one. The last question of the bottom line up front questions. What's the best advice that you've received over your life? It's a tough one.
That is it.
Now you can pause if you want.
Yeah,
I can cut this
really
out.
Thing. I think the best advice I've gotten over my life is, again, it's what I practice and preach to people, that you can still live your dream. Don't give up. In other words, a lot of people, that if they don't have the resources, we're in a bad economy. I'm a comedian too. I won't give you my.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. I want to talk a little bit more about the comedian
We won't
side.
get. I'm a comedian, But anyhow, the best thing, again, we all have a dream. Dream for a moment. We have our families and health. If you're smart and use the resources of the internet and coaches, that's why I'm a coach, to come in and share with you my expertise, then you can live your dream. So the best advice is don't give up. If you have a bucket list, don't say, hey, I can't afford to do it. Just spend some time and research. Speak to people like myself. Invite me to speak to your group, your association, your convention, to share with you the way you can do it.
Now, you just led me on to one more question. You said you're a coach. Explain, who do you coach? Do you coach groups, individuals, people, corporations?
Well, basically what I start off with is I like to speak to groups. I give them general terms, like a couple of things we talked about today about the credit card for airline miles and renting timeshares as opposed to hotels, and how to get discounts on rent-a-cars, meals, Broadway tickets. I like to speak to groups, answer their questions. I have a very informative program with slides, top 10 websites people should subscribe to if they're into travel. My best audiences are baby boomers like myself, active retirees that do have extended families. They want to do things. They've worked their whole life. Now they want to travel, and maybe they've been struggling a little bit on their pension or their Social Security, but there's still a way to do it, because I've figured that out, and I'm just there to share with them the methodology. Like I said, I coach. I show them the game plan, the X's and O's, the strategy, the empowerment, how to do these things, because I've spent the time over the past basically 15 years researching it every day. It's in my blood.
Well, Coach, this is something that we're going into the final round.
basically everything's time off. I tell people basically I'm fortunate. I vacation 52 weeks a year. I travel around.
You still work. You have a business, a company.
Well, I do this for fun. I'm in semi-retirement. I still travel around. I don't do this full time. Basically, I'm looking to speak maybe twice a month. That's it. And then after I speak, then the people that are really interested, I could help. I could coach individually, and we put together a plan that sort of customizes to their needs, their family's needs, their desires, their dreams. Where do they want to travel to? It might be Europe. It might be getting deals on cruises. It might be museums. It might be playing golf. Whatever it is, I'll just use my knowledge that I've acquired. Speaking, again, I speak to concierges all over the country. I speak to hotel general managers to acquire this knowledge. And the bottom line is how to live this dream for as little as, I'm not kidding, 90% off. 10 cents on a dollar.
Right, right. And it gets expensive when you stop having
Sure.
income come in other than your retirement. So for our timeliners, what's the most important takeaway from this interview?
That you really can live your dream. Again, do the research, whatever business you're in. If you're starting out in business, get a team together. If you want to travel, you have a family, get the resources. Somebody like myself, there's other people. Do your research, do your homework. You can do it with limited resources, but seek the advice and guidance of quality people. Whether you're running a business, you're an entrepreneur, startup, whether you're trying to sell a house as a homeowner, whether you're buying a car. In this case, my expertise is travel and leisure, how to live that lifestyle. Again, the whole gamut, airfares, activities, hotels, rent-a-cars, meals, tickets, cruises.
Well, when you mentioned, I think the point you said there is a lot of people have an interest, the younger folks, is the coach and the mentor concept. Find the right coach, find the right mentor, and that could be a whole different issue because how do you find the right coach?
Yeah, there's so many. You can't be an expert in everything.
Right, right. You got to find the right people.
Yeah, you're right. Like, whatever it's in business, I have we discussed earlier, a person that's an expert in videos, and I have somebody that works on my website. I have somebody that books, radio interviews for me. So again, develop whatever business you're in or in your entrepreneurial spirit. Try to select the right team to work with you. That's people you get along with that are knowledgeable and work together as a team for a common interest.
So most people are going to listen to this while they're running, jogging, driving a car, something of that nature. So for those folks, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they could look me up on my website, which is lifetimeleisure.net, or I offer a free initial consultation for people that listen to this interview. I offer a free initial consultation. They could call me toll-free at 1-866-626-8100. I repeat, that's 1-866-626-8100, and I'll give them a free initial consultation. But the best thing to do is find a group, association, meeting you're having with your country club, homeowners association, convention where you work, and have me come speak.
You also have an email, which is Klesh, CHRISKLESH.
Right.
At lifetimeleisure.net, which all this information will be up on the Timeline of Success webpage that we have for you. Plus, it's easy to find. And we'll have your episode. We'll post your episode up there. And so
the other way to find me is go to YouTube. Just search Lifetime Leisure Experiences. I have several YouTubes up there, videos with different travel tips on YouTube.
And we'll have those too. We'll have those connections. So you can get all that information by going to our website, either blufftv.com, blufftv.net, excuse me, or you can go to timelineofsuccess.com. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your driving down today. It's nice. We'll go walk across take a walk by the river. See how
it's a pleasure to be here. We're fortunate to be in this beautiful area.
No, I love it. There's so much to do here.
Yeah, I've been around in this Reno, Tahoe area. It's just, for the price, best bang for your buck, it's the place to be and enjoy life.
One last thing, and I was going to mention this. One thing I love about this area, and we're still on, I'm going to probably leave this in, is on the weekends we get a lot of people coming into town, and then they go away. I was up here last Sunday working down at my office downtown, and it was the first day of school hitting, and no one was down here at the river. No one was around. It was so nice. I had all of this beautiful area all to myself. So during the weekdays, we're here.
Yeah, it's the same thing with skiing. When you're an avid skier like I am, you give the weekends up to the tourists. You don't go on the mountain Saturday or Sunday. You're just up there on an empty slope, no lift lines, Monday through Friday.
I can't do lift lines. I relate to that.
No, we can't.
Perfect. That's a good way to end up. Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. We went long. which I'll get. That means I have to do 2 cuts, which will take me twice as. I'm there for 45 minutes, 43 minutes. That means I've got 3 hours of editing, 2.5. Because I have to cut it for 2 different versions for different. iHeart is different. So I'm learning my lessons. We are still live right now, so let's say sign off. Here you go. Everyone can see. We'll just do the live cam here. You say hi.
Hi.
This is what was your name again?
Hi, Judd.
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 Judd, can you tell us how old you are? Can I?
78.
78. Look at this guy.
And he skis well. He skis with me. We're ski buddies. We traveled all over and skied in Vail and Breckenridge and.
How long have you been living in Lake Tahoe?
I represent a little short ski that takes all the work out of it, and the guy who makes them lives in a motorhome in Vail, Colorado. For 15 years, he's been in a big motorhome, and he makes a little short ski with BBs in liquid, and he's skied,
How long?
He's skied 1 million vertical feet every year for the last 2 years, so much that he's worn out his hips, and he just had the second hip replaced.
How old is he?
He's 63.
Oh, wow. Okay. Skiing. That's interesting. So anyway, you're in great shape and you ski, and that's good. We could even do a story on yourself. But
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is YouTube after the fact.
Sure.
I'm having fun with my new cameras and systems.
Yeah,
This is just a
great.
so.
They're all on Apple. I have an Apple too, but I'm about to unload it some of these video glasses because they only work to see
PCs.
video on a Windows 7 or 8.
That'll change though.
Yeah.
That'll change. Everything's coming. That's another thing you're working on, the technology. A lot of technology here. A lot.
Yeah.
In fact, we are in the Reno Collective, and most of these people are programmers in here. They're actually doing code and programming. Very interesting, folks. If I could just get a full-blown studio here, I'd be so happy.
Yeah. Do you have a card?
Let me give you my wife's card.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't do my commercial. I do the local interviews primarily for First Realty and to market Reno. I am getting listeners. I think we'll be up to 3,000 listeners soon.
Yeah, well, the 2 people, I think, if your wife's in real estate, she should meet Ron Bell. He's big in real estate. I'll give you his number. In fact, you could call him, and he runs once a month Real Estate Investors Club. Yeah, they're residential and commercial people.
We're signing off right now, so let me make sure I do this right.